Hey everybody out there. Just giving you guys a heads up, giving you a warning. I messed up the audio on this review. The next one too. In fact, you know what? I'm going to be putting this intro in front of both videos. This is for both Highest to Lowest, the Spike Lee movie, as well as The Long Walk, the Stephen King film. And for both of these reviews, I just messed up. I somehow my mic the gain was turned halfway up. Normally I keep it all the way down, and somehow during transportation, I guess, it got turned way up, and so the audio is peaking through a lot of this video, and it sounds genuinely bad, and I apologize for that. I'm going to do my best to condense these reviews down to just the best parts, and hopefully you're still able to enjoy a review. If not, I really am sorry. I still think there is some worth in posting these because you get to be a part of the conversation. We had a lot of fun talking about both these movies. I almost didn't post them. I almost just threw out the whole audio, but I enjoyed the conversations enough that I wanted to keep them alive and post them, even if they don't sound great. So I am sorry for how these videos sound. I will try to do better in the future and not let that happen again. Here are our first thoughts. Hello and welcome back to First Thoughts. I'm Simon, this is Justin, and today we're giving our first thoughts on Mr. Beast the movie. Haha, I've been waiting to say that for about 8 months. Well, that was a movie. I've also been waiting to say, if I had a nickel for every time we saw a Mark Hamill movie that was written by Stephen King this year, I'd have 2 nickels.
Hey, listen, your nickels are adding up.
Quick, real quick. So, The Long Walk was directed by Francis Lawrence. Who, you might ask? He directed The Hunger Games. This is also very similar to The Hunger Games, by the way. That was actually my first thought watching it. I was like, this, immediately, because it's like, you are allowed to compete in this. Aren't you so happy? And I was like, this is The Hunger Games. And then I kept waiting for somebody to pull out Poison Berries at some point. They don't. He also directed I Am Legend, by the way. Didn't realize that was the same person. But anyway, as I mentioned, it was written by Stephen King. It was adapted by J.T. Molnar. If you don't know who that is, me neither. It's starring Cooper Hoffman, David Johnson, Judy Greer, Ben Wang, who we saw recently, and as we mentioned, Mark Hamill is Colonel? The Major, sorry, he's the Major. So if you haven't seen the trailer, you don't know what it's about. It follows this group of 50 guys. I guess the girls aren't allowed to compete, or I don't know. They never mentioned that or brought it up.
Well, killing a bunch of guys on national television, that's entertainment. If we make it women,
cruelty.
That's just tragedy.
But anyway, so this takes place in the near future after some war, and America is in horrible financial straits. Meaning, I guess, that America lost the war, because if you win wars, it's very good financially for you.
Yeah, I kind of took it to be a civil war.
It was. It was a civil war. It said it was a war that tore the country apart. So I'm assuming civil war. But anyway, I don't know that civil war. See, civil wars are good for your economy too, because a lot of people die, a lot of extra jobs. So I'm not sure the economics of this movie, but anyway.
Well, listen, we destroyed a bunch of stuff before we settled up with each other. A lot of infrastructure's gone.
Yeah. So it turns into the Hunger Games, where the elite are now being entertained by, I guess every year, they don't specify, but every once in a while they get a group of 50 guys who volunteer to do this long walk where you just walk and walk and walk until you drop. You have to maintain a speed of 3 miles per hour at least, or you will be given a warning, and if you get your third warning, you're shot. They say you get your ticket, and for a while I couldn't tell if they knew that they were going to die or not, but then when the first guy got shot, they were all like, yeah, that's what happens.
Yeah, they pointed the gun, and then he got back up, and the first guy they threatened.
Yeah.
And it was just like, oh, okay. They were pointing the guns, like, you guys weren't freaking out. Do you know?
Yeah, it seemed very vague, but I guess they were all aware. I think it probably would have worked better if they were forced to do the game, but whatever. Anyway, so it becomes this competition where if you win, you're the lone survivor, and you're given untold riches and also one wish, whatever that means. So, for the next few days, these guys just walk and walk and walk and walk. And so it can kind of feel a little bit predictable, sometimes very predictable, but I will say it still manages to throw in a couple surprises in there, for better or worse. And I think what made it work for me, because I'm saying right now it did work for me for the most part, was the cast is just really, really, really good. I love especially the two main characters, Mark Hamill as his villain, Judy Greer as the mom, who we mainly see in flashbacks. All very good. Every side character too, though, all the guys are very well casted, and I just really enjoyed all the dynamics that we had going on. So, yeah, I'm giving it a thumbs up. How'd you feel?
I have to say, I came into this thinking this movie would probably be terrible.
Really? I had high expectations.
I had zero expectations for this movie.
Okay.
I don't know why. It's just, the concept seemed funny enough, but...
Funny?
Yeah, funny enough.
I was ready to be entertained.
I was ready to be entertained, too. Just a very
In
different
the wrong way.
entertained. But, yes. Because, like, I don't know. I knew the concept of it because I'd seen the trailer, maybe both trailers. They're going to walk for 3 miles an hour until they all drop. There's going to be some drama. Mm-hmm. Somehow, I'm going to have to feel tension in this long walk for a bunch of characters. I know they're all going to die anyway, besides, one. That's the whole point of it. But I agree with you. This cast was so entertaining.
It made it work.
I
kept asking myself, how much longer is this going to keep working? And it just kept working.
Especially because, okay, they set up a core group.
Musketeers.
Yeah, they set up a core group of musketeers, but before that...
And then some anti-heroes.
Yeah, they give a couple people a couple of lines in there. But as the group starts to boil down, as, the 50, boils down to the one, more and more of those side characters have to take prominence, and they were all good too.
Yeah. Yeah, no, there was never a character that I thought stood out as they're fake, or they don't fit in. The writing, and that's Stephen King's strength as a writer. And well, he has many, but to me, his biggest strength is creating characters. And all of these characters, granted, I haven't read the book. I don't know how accurate that part is. It seems to be. But all of the characters are just within seconds of meeting this character, you go, I know who this is, and I believe it, Yeah. There's this guy who he's very religious, and he keeps saying crap. He won't say shit. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, oh, okay, cool, I get that. And, oh, here's this nerdy guy. Oh, what's his thing? Oh, he wants to write a book. Okay, I get it. And, oh, here's a kid who he claims he's 18, but he's clearly 16 at most. Okay, and so you're able to just pick up on all of this, and that's cool. I'm able to figure out who all these people are immediately, and they all feel real, and they all feel different. Also, it just takes good writing to make such a straightforward, for lack of a better term, no pun intended, just a straightforward story just work. And so, yeah, I had heard nothing but good things about the movie, wanted it to be good, and I will say it was good mostly. I have one gripe that I don't want to get into yet because it's a spoiler, and I'm going to get into it later in the spoilers. And I don't think it ruins the movie for me yet, but I have to think about it because I was ready to put this in my top 10 no questions asked, and now I'm like, I don't know if I can. They may have dropped it down to peg, but I still did enjoy it, and I do still recommend it.
I agree with the recommendation. And much more enjoyable than I expected. And I'm really checking for these people in the future. A lot of them don't have many credits to their acting history at all, these cast of the main 50.
It reminds me of the new It, where it's just every kid, you're like, man, you're good. Oh, you're good too. And I did know, and calling them kids is funny, because it's Cooper Hoffman and I forget his name already, but the black guy, the main black guy.
Oh yeah, how old is he?
They're in their 20. Something? Oh, he is. He's 32. But yeah, those guys, they have more under their belt at this point, but they are phenomenal. I love them. Every time I get a chance to see them in something, I jump at it.
Especially David Johnson. Now, I
think
I'm learning that this is my first thing I've ever seen him in. I believe so.
I think, most people would know him from the new Alien, though. Yeah. That's where he really, I feel like that was what made him blow up.
Okay.
And yeah, he's just great.
He was the best.
Yes.
My only gripe with him is that occasionally he'd be talking, and the accent he was working with, I just couldn't make out what he was saying. I occasionally needed subtitles for him. But he was my favorite part of this movie.
Yeah.
Bar none. every scene he was in, he's stealing it.
Too bad he died in the first 5 minutes.
Yeah. Simon! No!
Damn! Man. That's the one thing I said. The movie isn't entirely predictable. That was the one part I'm like, they're really setting this guy up. And then, he's dead. Oh, well. It's like, that was a lot of wasted time in the first 5 minutes on this guy. He just fell down a manhole. They didn't even shoot him. He wasn't looking where he was walking. And then we assume he died. Actually, we don't know. We assume he died. Maybe there'll be a sequel and he'll come back then. Maybe.
We assume he died because of the scream he made. Not a Wilhelm scream, but that yodel one. that goofy sounding yodel.
So he may have been fine. We don't know. I'm willing to give it a 7, I think. I probably would have been much more confident in that and gone definitely like a hard 7.5 to maybe even an 8, if not for my big gripe with it, which has taken it down to like a soft 7 right now. But maybe if I sit with it longer, I'll like it more. We'll see.
I kind of feel okay with the 7. I also have a gripe that kind of takes it down, but I wonder if you're going to say stuff in the spoiler half that'll make me feel a bit better about that.
I don't think it'll make you feel better. I think we'll just probably commiserate.
Probably stay 7. This was really good for just 95% of the screen time where these kids are on.
I love the stuff with the mom too. I wasn't expecting this movie to make me cry, and it made me shed a tear or two.
They were pretty emotional. In the beginning, it was fine with me, but as that built up through the rest of the movie, that really got real powerful.
I will say though that the flashbacks were the only time the budget showed. Maybe at the end too, but this movie was clearly low budget in just those 2 moments. Because for the most part, I should say, holy shit to these actors. How much walking did they have to do for this movie? I feel terrible for all of them. Obviously, they're walking for a very long time.
Yeah, obviously.
Ends up being days.
Yeah.
Keeping that up at 3 miles per hour, that means you're walking just under 75 miles per day. 72 miles per day, right?
Right.
So keep that up for days, right?
Yeah.
That gets you into at least 200 miles if you're doing 3 days.
Yeah.
Okay. So back in my day, back before it wasn't so voluptuous, I've done many things in my day, including a couple of marathons, and the crowning jewel of my physical achievement in my mind is several times I did this challenge that was the 40-mile challenge, which actually ends up being closer to 43, where it's like you start in one state, you walk across the tip of a second state into a third state, and you do that, and you're supposed to do it. The challenge is in 24 hours. You can do that in under 20 hours. It's fairly doable. But guess what? That's 40-some miles. That is, I'm not the only person to say it. Multiple people that did it have also done marathons. It's harder than running a marathon. It is harder to do that than run a marathon.
What is it? Delta Force? I know they ruck too, but it is like a 50-mile ruck that they gotta do. 50
I'm not
mile
sure,
ruck.
like the.
It's pretty. It's around that distance. Now again, 50 pounds or whatever they have on their backs.
Sure.
But still, that's
Also,
that difference right there.
This challenge I'm talking about is on the Appalachian Trail, so there's a lot of sharp rocks and a lot of steep climbing and stuff, so that makes it harder. So anytime that I have finished that, I've thought to myself, God, I don't want to do that again. But when I finished it, I thought I could keep going for a while longer, was what I thought. Because you just get into a mode, and also it ends on flat. So realistically, I think I could probably, back then, I probably could have done 50-ish, make that flat land, could probably do 100, maybe.
Yeah.
But there were people, like, training for that who failed to be able to do it. These kids, most of them didn't look like they trained at all for it, especially the main character. Didn't come across like he trained at all. How the hell are you going to tell me that they're walking 300-some miles? Can you Google for me what's the longest walk somebody's ever done straight? Because I really struggled to believe this would take as long as it did in the movie.
December 2013, Allen ran for 86 hours, 11 minutes, and 9 seconds without sleeping. She broke the previous world record without sleep. Oh, which was 486. She reached 500, apparently.
500 kilometers?
Yeah.
That's 310 miles.
Damn.
So not every kid, multiple kids in this movie broke the world record.
Yeah.
That's not fucking happening. I'm sorry. And I know our numbers are probably a little fudged. We're Googling live, guys. We're probably a little bit wrong, but if this lady was setting records at 310 miles, these kids not all, but like a lot of these kids, also, one had a limp. One had a limp of the final, like, 10, maybe 15. One had a limp because, he's got something wrong with him. I'm like, brother, you would all be limping heavily by mile 100. Maybe some of you would be fine by 50. By mile 100, all of you would be walking like zombies. Anyway, I know that's a silly complaint, and I'm not demanding the movie for that. Trust me. I'm just saying it's not realistic at all. As somebody who's done endurance shit in the past, that's just not... This movie... Probably a lot of people don't realize how ridiculous it is because it's something so far out of their realm of reality. But this was the equivalent of Fast and Furious for walking. It was what we were watching. Anyway, we're going to get into spoilers now. So if you don't want anything spoiled, you should click away, go watch it. Please do. It's good. Support them, and then come back and we can talk about it then. But don't forget to like, share, follow, subscribe, rate, all that. Thanks, guys.
Bye.
Bye. So, the big shock to me of this movie was the whole time you know that the final two is going to be, or at least you believe, the final two is going to be the main character and his best friend.
Yeah.
Or a possible gay lover, based on how he was talking. Dude, I heard people start to laugh at a couple of his lines, but I was like, he might be gay. I'm not sure. He might be gay. Because he was just talking about, like, how it doesn't matter how long we knew each other. Whether it was 3 hours or 30 years. I'm like, damn, you're in love.
They're soulmates, man.
But anyway, I was here for it. I was ready for it. So the whole time you're ready for them to be the last two. And then he's got this line about, I don't need to win that much. I don't want to win more than I want, like, you to win. Basically, I'm paraphrasing. He's like, I just don't care enough. When it comes down to it, I'll just sit down. And so... once it gets down to it, you're like, all right, when's he gonna sit down?
Yeah.
The third guy is out, and I'm like, so sit down. But he doesn't. I guess he didn't want to sit on the bridge or something. I don't know.
He needs a crowd.
And so they keep walking for a while, and then the crowd shows up, and he looks at him very lovingly. He looks at him like Sam looks at Frodo. And he goes to kneel down. And then Garrity grabs him and says, like, no. And he's like, no, I need to. And he's like, all right, but not yet. Just walk with me for a little bit. And once again, he looks at him with love in his eyes, and he goes, all right, I'll walk with you a little bit longer. Because in his mind, he's like, he's still going to let me lose, but we get to spend some more time together because it's I'm going to die, so let's make the moment last. It makes sense. But then he starts walking, and immediately Garrity stops. And they don't give him warnings or nothing, just shoot him twice in the stomach. So, it was really weird.
No, but the issue is they gave him warnings while the other guy was getting warnings, because they both stopped. So they're both getting warnings.
Yeah, but I didn't hear the third and final warning.
No, I didn't either. I just figured we were supposed to assume that it happened, because, the warnings they were giving were really more for the... I can't remember the black guy's character name right now.
Pete.
Yeah, he was Pete. Okay.
Yeah.
The warnings originally were for Pete, but they have to be giving him
them both warnings.
Yeah. So I guess that was that. But yeah, it was a little abrupt. I just wanted to hear a third warning, but then you would have had Pete turn around rather than Pete be completely surprised.
Now the reason though that Garrity does this is also there was a separate conversation earlier where he reveals the whole reason he joined this up isn't for the riches. It isn't even for the wish, technically. He's going to use the wish to get the gun of one of the guys and shoot Mark Hamill because Mark Hamill shot his dad. And you realize this whole thing is about vengeance. And Pete has to tell him, like, dude, there's more to life than vengeance. Vengeance is enough to sustain you. You've got people that love you. That's what you should be. You could be doing good with your wish.
Right.
Choose love.
Yep.
That's code for be gay with me.
Hey. There's only one winner. It was just be gay in general.
Yes, be gay.
In my memory.
And take care of your mom and take care of Karate Kid's wife and all these things we promised to people.
Yeah, and Pastor's grandma.
Yeah. Whatever. And so it's like, I know you think it's what you need to do, but there's more important things. And you're like, okay, I kind of get that. Meanwhile, this whole movie's kind of been a message about, like, overthrowing the fascist regime or whatever. But they neglected to say it, but I was thinking it, just because you shoot Mark Hamill doesn't mean you're overthrowing shit. There's just going to be another Mark Hamill.
Yeah, I know he's, like, the famous central figure, but yeah, like...
Just the next man up.
It's just, now we do this in his honor and his memory.
And so I was waiting for them to say that, and they never said it, but I think it was kind of... You were getting that idea. So now that Pete wins instead of Garrity, though, how will he live on to honor the sacrifice of Garrity?
Especially because Garrity, the whole time, is really loved about Pete, that Pete... kind of sees the vision.
He sees the vision. That's even what he says.
He sees
you
the
see
path
the vision
forward way more than Garrity has any clue about, and so he gives it up for Pete to carry the vision forward.
Yeah, because Pete could never kill somebody.
Not really his morality, yeah.
And then he just throws it out the window, shoots Mark Hamill, and the guard. For some reason, there's no more soldiers there all of a sudden, and then he turns and there's multiple street lights all making a smiley face. Subliminal messaging that I don't quite understand. At first I thought it was supposed to be Garrity's face. Maybe it was. I couldn't tell. And he just puts down the gun and walks off into the night. And boy, oh boy, did I hate that.
Yeah, that was a confusing ass ending for what was really a pretty great front to back movie.
Yeah.
And then
it was just that moment. And I was sitting there shaking my fist like, fuck you, Stephen King. Another movie or another story that you wrote great until the ending, you fucked it up. Guess what? The book's so much better. Let me read you.
I'm so curious.
Let me read you the book, because I Googled differences. And it said it's mostly the same except for 2 major changes.
Nice.
1, there was 100 people, not 50. I don't feel like that's a major change, but they counted it as 1.
That's good enough. I figure that's just more people to die on that hill.
Yeah.
Instead of 14, it's like 40.
Second major change, and the only one I would count as a major change, is the final 3 is the same. You've got the 2 guys, best buddies. Makes it sound, I didn't read the whole thing, but it makes it sound like they're just 2 friends. It doesn't sound like they do the Musketeers so much. It's just the bond between the 2 guys. Maybe I'm missing that, but that's kind of what it seems. And then you've got Stebbins, the guy who in this movie very predictably was Mark Hamill's son. I knew that the second I saw him, and then kind of forgot about it. And then when it's like, "What's your secret?" I'm like, "He's his son."
Honestly, I probably should have guessed that. I didn't grasp it until maybe slightly before the final 3.
Yeah.
Because most of the movie, I thought the major was Gary's father.
Why?
Well, I always related, maybe an uncle or something, up until I started to remember that like his father was the person who told him about the past stuff, and we got that. But I was thinking like, oh, is he doing this for like revenge, or is he doing this to like his father made him, and now he's trying to change the situation?
Trying to eat the berries at the end.
Is he like was he explaining things to him so that he can like take over? And then no, it was just I'm explaining to you the history and we're rebelling a little bit. Yeah. So yeah, after that it's like, oh yeah, I guess it probably is the other guy's father.
Anyway, so they're the final 3 when McVrise, aka Pete, decides to sit down.
Nice.
He gets 3rd place. Doesn't get 2nd.
Interesting, because I wasn't 100% sure that he'd make it to the end. It made the most sense.
It would have been the most poetic, but I can value him not being, because then it leaves a bad guy in the final 2, which adds a little bit more oomph in a way. But so yeah, Pete gives himself up to be 3rd.
Dang.
And gets shot. That just leaves Stebbins and Garrity, who keep going in silence for a long, unclear period of time until Garrity catches up to Stebbins to admit defeat. And Stebbins promptly drops dead. Has like a heart attack and just dies in the middle of walking. Doesn't even sit down, nothing. He just dies.
Huh.
By that time, Garrity is so physically and mentally broken by the ordeal that he can't even register that he's won the competition. Hallucinating shadows in the distance and thinking they're contestants he still has to beat, he shrugs off the people trying to congratulate him and just keeps walking. And that's how it ends. And holy shit, what an ending that I wish they fucking kept. That sounds so much better.
Damn.
That sounds A million times better. So Stephen King, I apologize. Because you were not the problem. Whatever fucking producer or whoever made that decision to end this movie the way they did ruined your story. Because that is a million times better. And a much better commentary on the societal issues that it's pointing out. Is that even when you win, you're so drained and so fucked up that you can't even appreciate that you won. That's such a good fucking ending. That would have made this movie like a 10.
That's super sad we didn't get that.
Yeah!
Because, like, even going...
I hope they filmed an alternate ending.
Even going this route, if you wanted Pete to win and, you know, start to challenge the system and shit, you picked the worst path by having him just kill the Major.
Yeah, it made no sense character-wise, made no sense commentary-wise, made no sense story-wise. It didn't work. And that's why I just, like, this movie was so good right until that moment, and I just went, well, what the fuck? You know? Kind of like they How I Met Your Mother did. They had it all going perfectly until that last 2-second deviation. That's a bummer. It really is. Because, man, the movie was good up until that point.
Damn, that's sad.
I know.
Too many happy endings.
Fuck America and their stupid movie endings. It really is just such an American thing. I don't know how much more there is to say about this movie other than pointing out the Fast and Furious of it all, where it's like, nobody's walking that far, especially when, like, he loses his shoes and still walks another 60 miles or something.
Yeah, it was... I thought that would be a bigger plot point for his ending.
Like, by the way, most of these kids did not have good shoes. The Asian kid was walking 200 miles in Converse.
Yeah.
I can't walk 50 feet in Converse without my feet hurting.
A bunch of people were not prepared at all. I mean, a ton of jeans.
There was a guy in wellies. I don't know why I said wellies. There was a guy in galoshes. I'm watching too much British shit lately, I guess.
Absolutely no athletic wear at all.
No.
I don't know what time period this is supposed to be set in.
Half of them didn't have hats.
Yeah.
You know, you need hats, you need athletic wear, and that's what I would have filled up my backpack with, is other pairs of sneakers. Just have a rotation of sneakers that you switch out every 30 miles or something.
That would make... switching out might be hard, but that makes sense.
Yeah, have them all pre-tied slip-ons.
I mean, at the beginning of the race, yeah, I think you could do that. Towards the end, I don't know if you should stop ever.
Yeah. No, well, me, now... Yeah. Me, a decade ago, sure, I would have made it 100 miles or whatever. Me now, I'm making it 20 feet, and then I'm like, I'm tapping out, guys.
Oh yeah, I'm dying first day, and I'm just kneeling down, closing my eyes, and being like, okay, if I don't fight them, they'll head tap me. If I don't fight them, they'll head tap me.
I don't even know what my reaction would be. I mean, I would think I would probably walk as long as I physically could, or at least mentally could. I don't know how long that is right now, though, in my current physical state. So I'd probably make it, honestly, I'd probably make it like 20 miles.
Oh, yeah, I'm dying the first day. Like, gun to my head, I'm still dying the first day. I hate to say it.
Because I'm looking around, I'm looking at people like Pete going, dude, he showed up with the massive arms. I'm like, I know that doesn't help you walk, but I'm just like, fuck.
Yeah, no. The very first thing I saw, I was like, damn, Pete. Yeah. You a farmer boy or something?
Because I saw him, like, what I know him from is Alien, and he wasn't built like that in Alien. And so I just saw him walking, I was like, damn.
Maybe Pete's got some upcoming role. All right, Pete, we need you to... do some curls,
Putting him in Marvel or something, maybe. I don't know. You know, when the Son of Mark Hamill started going off, and they're like, how do you know all about this? And then he starts talking about being the rabbit. I was like, I had like this whole separate thought pattern going where I'm like, oh, they put him, because then he starts like saying, I'm not human. I'm like, is he some sort of like hybrid thing that they designed in a lab that they put him in every race to win, to give the appearance that people can win, but he just wins every time?
Oh, that would have been interesting.
That would have been cool, but like, then he's just like, no, I'm his son. I'm like, I said that already. This would have been cooler. I thought you were telling something cool, and then you just went, nope, wait, no.
Yeah, before he said like the rabbit that the dogs chase, when he just said the rabbit, I'm like,
what are you talking?
Is that like are you a plants? Are you?
Yeah.
Are you like?
That's when I started thinking, because he's like, I'm the rabbit the dogs can't catch.
Why would they have
you? So you're Terminator. You're here to kill everybody.
It's like, why would they have you walk all this time?
Yeah, it's a good point. Well, I guess they're making it a show. Well, but then if everybody can tell, so then I was like, maybe there's multiple, like he's just this they have a new X-Men or a new clone warrior guy every whatever.
It's a clone of the Major. I do this shit for the fun of it.
Yeah, because I mean he looked fairly Aryan, so I'm thinking, is this some sort of like German Nazi thing going on? And then it's like, no, he's just his son. I'm like, okay, you hinted at so many cool ideas here and then just dropped them all immediately and went the really obvious route, which I'm surprised, going back to positives, its rating is not a bigger issue for me. It's frankly the going against the obvious was my only major complaint in this movie. Because for the most part, even when they were doing the most obvious thing possible, I was enjoying myself watching it.
Because, I mean, there's not a whole lot of ways in this to kill off the people or make the tension. Yeah. Like, when I saw the trailer and I thought people might be able to somehow get to the sides and hide for a little. Yeah. Maybe you can pause a little and your warnings only start when you get behind them.
That's what I was thinking.
I didn't know the rules at all. When that, I thought the movie might be a little more interesting in that regard. But just the straightforward, I'm tired, I'm really sick, I hurt my foot, my shoes are screwed up.
I gotta take a shit.
I gotta take a shit, I'm crazy.
Will stop me. That pissed me off. I'm like, they're all saying just shit in your pants, and I'm like, that would become an issue pretty quickly because of the rash you would get and all of that.
Insane.
But still, it's better than being shot in the head right now.
Yeah, 100%. I'd be hopping side to side trying to shit.
I was expecting I forget his name, but the evil one, the murderer guy.
Oh, yeah.
I was expecting him to do more because, like, they're talking shit and he's like, I have plans for you to Pete. And then he never did anything.
He did say that.
And I was like, because, like, when he came over and he was acting all buddy-buddy and he had the spoon, I was like, he's going to stab him with the spoon or he's going to trip him. He's going to do... And then he ends up stabbing himself. I'm like, you are such a wasted... Like, he's a Draco Malfoy of this, right? He's a wasted Malfoy.
Yeah.
He didn't do shit.
I really thought he was going to stab Garrett. Yeah. Or just like get him in the eye or something.
I thought so too.
And I didn't think that was going to take Garrett out, but I thought that was going to be like the big thing of Garrett's, like the rest of his race. Like I can barely hang on, my eyes rotting or whatever now.
Yeah, Garrett-y.
Garrett-y, okay,
yeah. No, I thought he was going to trip him or like try to swing at him, and then obviously the good guy would win, but like I thought that was coming and I was ready for it, and then he didn't do anything. And then also he was standing right next to, or walking right next to, the Asian kid, whatever his name was. And they made the big deal about the gum, and I kept expecting him to, like, take the gum and throw it.
I thought it was going to, like, fall out of his mouth at one point, and he was just dropped to his knees then, and be done.
And they really did nothing with that. So, he took it out and was staring at it for a while. And I was like, he's going to drop it or somebody's going to take it. No, nothing.
And then...
A little bit of wasted potential with this movie. A little bit.
The interesting thing with him was he had a wife, too.
Yeah.
Mr. 10 women.
10 naked ladies.
10 naked ladies when I get the prize.
Mm-hmm.
I got a wife at home.
Yeah.
I couldn't tell if he was like trying to escape the wife or trying to do it for the wife.
That's some four.
But just, like...
I don't think his marriage was that bad.
It didn't seem like it, but like, up until then, I would have never guessed he was married.
Yeah, me neither.
None of them.
He also looked way too young.
Yeah, they all seem like they're under 20.
They're supposed to be like
the character-wise.
Yeah, oldest is like 21.
Yeah.
Is what they look like they're supposed to be. I don't care about most of this, honestly. Like, because, like, you get enough where you're like, okay, I have to kind of make myself believe it a little bit. Like, oh, it's the new world, and they're talking about the old ways. The books have been banned. I'm like, okay, I get what you're saying because you said it. I'm not really believing it, but I'm going along with it, just like I'm going along with the fact that all of these kids are walking 300 miles. Couldn't fucking happen, but I'll just go along with it because why not? It really is just the ending is the only legitimate gripe I really care about. Everything else, there's plenty to nitpick. That's not that kind of movie. It could be the Hunger Games if it wanted to and get into the politics more, but it's not trying to, and that's fine. I just needed the ending to be what Stephen King wrote. Shockingly.
It absolutely would have been better if they went that route. But sticking to the route they stuck, I just needed either Pete not to shoot the Major and actually seem like he's going to go on that journey, or just having him shoot him and then having him walk off and then having to add like an extra scene where he's like trying. that would be kind of lame, but I feel like that'd be better than what we got.
And if he really wanted to shoot the major, then let freaking Hoffman do it. And he didn't learn his lesson or something.
For a split second, because they said that when it's down to 2 people, they allow a crowd to form because these are the hardcore people, the people the major's son was saying this before he gave up his life. Mm-hmm. He was saying that the hardcore people really want to show up because they want to see the major make the final kill. Mm-hmm. So I was thinking, when Garrity, because he got gut shot first, right? Because I actually thought he was going to live the whole time. I thought he was going to be the one.
Yeah, I was shocked by that.
And, something was going to happen. Pete was going to give up his life, or Pete was going to do the sit down eventually, whatever.
Yeah, we were talking about that. Like, I thought there might be a little bit of a fight over the sit down, like what happened.
Yeah.
But I did not think it was going to come out with Pete on top.
No, me neither.
Not for 1 second did I believe that.
But after Garrity got gut shot, and the major came up with the gun, I thought for a split second maybe he'd snap up, get the gun, shoot the major, get killed himself, and then he did that. So now Pete never has to even use his wish on that, never has to do any of that. Pete's completely clean to go do his thing.
Yeah. I did flash through my head for a second that he would use the wish on there being 2 winners. As he's laying there with blood coming out of his stomach, he'd be like, no, I win, and I wish that he could be okay. Kind of thing.
That's interesting. I didn't
my head was spinning. I had no idea what was happening at that point.
I didn't think about that, but after Garrity got shot, I thought Pete might make that his wish again.
That's
Remember
what I meant,
that
Pete, yeah.
Well, no, I know what you're saying, but you were saying before Garrity died and got shot by the major, that maybe Pete would be able to use his wish quickly and save him.
Yeah,
like
as
2
he's
winners,
dying, and they're
style.
like, okay, we'll stop shooting him now.
Yeah, and be like, oh, I guess we'll give him medical attention, so 2 winners or whatever.
Yeah.
But no, I'm saying after the major shot him.
Yeah.
When he looks up, what's your wish? What do you want, Sentry? And he starts to get that little look of determination in his eyes. I thought he was gonna say 2 winners going forward.
Yeah.
I'm gonna start the change or something. And
I thought or disband it or something.
I didn't think they'd do the disband it. So I thought the 2 would be the starts. We do 2 here, maybe someone in the future does 3. Yeah. It carries forward. Eventually, we're done with this or whatever. I thought that might be the.
I just feel like there was a million other options for the ending that would have been better. They chose the only wrong answer.
Pretty much.
That's crazy. Anyway, we've been talking long enough. We're gonna end it there. Still enjoyable, but that ending's just disappointing. It just is. No way around it. So, what did you guys think, though? Let us know in the comments below. And, of course, don't forget to like, share, follow, subscribe, all of that. Thanks, guys.
Bye.